Hey yo, what's going on guys? It's your boy Scatino, aka Scat, and welcome to my brand new video. So today's video is going to be all about my top 5 most anticipated games of 2013. Now, make no mistake, this list is not in any particular order, it's not exhaustive by any means. There's so many games I'm looking forward to this year, so many possible announcements, you know, console, hardware, everything. But this list is going to pretty much focus on games that we already know for definite are going to come out. You know, I think all of them are coming out in the first half of this year anyway, so we don't even know what's going to be coming out around like next Christmas time, you know, when we always have that big influx of games. So yeah, that's what this list is going to be mainly focusing on. So first of all, definitely is The Last of Us. Now, Naughty Dog's new game has definitely got to be in my top 5 most anticipated games of this year. Everything we've seen, you know, every screenshot, every trailer, it's looking absolutely epic. And the whole story behind it, you know, to be honest, I think a lot of what's happened in the Uncharted series, you know, all the different, like, gameplay mechanics, you know, how that's progressed through the Uncharted series has all been building up to what we're going to be seeing in The Last of Us. I mean, if you think about Uncharted 2, you know, they really introduced, you know, a lot more stealth-based gameplay, and The Last of Us is going to definitely be a lot more focused on the stealth aspect, because obviously, you know, you're in this world, you're trying to survive by any means necessary, but you know, health is going to be scarce, weapons, ammo, everything's going to be scarce. You know, you've really got to scavenge. And for that, you know, you need to use your stealth in order to remain hidden. You know, not to draw any attention to yourself and what you're going to be doing within the game. So I think, if you think about it logically, you know, have a look at how the Uncharted series progressed. I think we're going to see a lot of that in The Last of Us, you know. I really can't see Naughty Dog messing this one up. I really hope they don't. I'm definitely excited for it. May cannot come quick enough. So yeah, definitely on the list is Naughty Dog's The Last of Us. Second on the list is, of course, Grand Theft Auto 5. Going back to, you know, San Andreas in, you know, the area of Los Santos. So I'm definitely excited for Grand Theft Auto 5. I think Grand Theft Auto 4 was a good game, but it wasn't a perfect game. I wasn't amazed by it. I mean, other than like the open world itself, you know, how dense it was, you know, the amount of detail they actually put in Liberty City, you know, I wasn't the biggest fan of it. You know, thinking back now to when the game come out, you know, it wasn't really that good of a game, in my honest opinion. I still think Grand Theft Auto Vice City is the greatest Grand Theft Auto game ever made. But I think I'm a lot more excited about this Grand Theft Auto just because, you know, Rockstar have had a couple of goals now at creating open world games on these consoles, on the PlayStation 3 and 360, you know. If you think about it, Grand Theft Auto 4 was like their first foray into the HD arena, creating a big major release, you know, like Grand Theft Auto 4. So obviously there was definitely room for improvement, and things have improved over subsequent games. You know, Red Dead Redemption remains to this day, in my honest opinion, one of the greatest games of this generation, hands down. So there's a lot of things that I think like they need to improve on in Grand Theft Auto 5. You know, I think they need to improve on the checkpoints, definitely. You know, it's so annoying in Grand Theft Auto games when you may die right at the end of a mission and then have to restart that mission all over again, right from the point where, you know, you have to go and activate the mission once again, and then you may have to, like, drive all the way to the spot. You know, it's that kind of thing that I think they really need to sort out in this one. Obviously, as well, the controls. Grand Theft Auto 4, I believe, handled like shit. Red Dead Redemption handled like shit, but not as bad. I think, you know, this engine that they're using, it's quite clunky. I want Grand Theft Auto to be fun. I want it to be fluid. I think in Grand Theft Auto 4, it was trying to be too realistic with the physics and everything, and I felt like when I was driving the cars, half the time I felt like I was playing Gran Turismo and not Grand Theft Auto. You know, it's not a simulator, it's not a real life sim, it's an action game at the end of the day. You know, it's an open world sandbox action game, whatever you want to call it. So they really need to tweak these controls to make it a lot more fluid, a lot more responsive. And yeah, I just hope, you know, in terms of like the scope of this world, I hope they have proper bug testing, you know, and just make sure it runs as good as possible. You know, I know it's a big ask. We are in the era of, you know, online patches now. You know, ship a game broke and then we'll patch it up later on, you know. So I just hope they actually do ship this game with minimal problems. So that's The Last of Us, that's Grand Theft Auto 5. Next on the list, most definitely, is BioShock Infinite. I can't tell you how much I'm looking forward to BioShock Infinite. I think, again, everything we've seen, and it's not even been that much to be honest, has been looking epic. The first BioShock game is one of my favourite games of this generation. It really is. You know, the story, the gameplay, it all came together to create this amazing package. You know, this game was just phenomenal in my eyes. BioShock 2, I didn't like it. Irrational Games did not work on BioShock 2. It was a different studio, you know, and I think them going back to Rapture in BioShock 2 really kind of took away the mystery of it. You know, Rapture really should have been left alone, which is why I'm happy that BioShock Infinite is going to be set in a completely different place entirely. It's being set in Colombia, this huge city that lives in the air above the clouds and everything. So I'm hoping that the story is going to live up to my expectations. You know, it's got a lot to live up to if you compare it to the first BioShock game. But yeah, I think possibly it can be done. I'm definitely looking forward to it, no doubt. It's going to be interesting, and you know, all these delays, I think it's had like 2 or 3 delays now. The game was supposed to be coming out the end of February, but now it's been pushed back to the end of March. And that was originally from it coming out at the latter end of 2012. So, you know, it's been delayed quite a bit. So I just hope, you know, this extra development time, they're using it wisely to polish the game, make sure it runs as good as possible over all platforms. Yeah, and we'll definitely just see how this one works out. I'm definitely excited for it, I can't tell you how much. Next on the list is going to be one that maybe not a lot of you have heard of, maybe not a lot of you have heard of the series before, and this game in particular, but it is Broken Sword, The Serpent's Curse. Now, Broken Sword is really a PC game. It's a point-and-click adventure game that originally come out on the PC. It's very story-driven, very character-driven. I mean, if you think about the Walking Dead game that recently come out, if you think about that, it's kind of like that, but a lot more simplistic in the graphics and in the actual gameplay. I'm looking forward to this game because Broken Sword 1 and 2, when they originally come out in the 90s, it made me a firm believer of really strong video game narratives and how a player can really connect, you know, have an emotional connection with the characters that they control through, you know, the powers of the story, basically. And Serpent's Curse is, I hope, going to carry on that trend. It's the 5th game in the series. Broken Sword 3 and 4, you know, didn't really work out too well. I mean, because it needs to be known that Broken Sword is a 2D game. It's a 2D game, but this one, of course, is going to have all the HD graphics, you know, all the artworks being done in HD and everything with new animations. Broken Sword 1 and 2 were the same. They were 2D games, but 3 and 4, they kind of went into the 3D era because of, like, you know, the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox had come out, so they were trying to go for that kind of audience, you know. I think the actual creator of the Broken Sword series, Charles Cecil, actually blamed Sony and PlayStation for the decline of adventure games in the late 90s, because nobody wanted those 2D sprite-based games really anymore. You know, everyone was moving towards the 3D, 3D sandbox video games, you know. So I'm definitely looking forward to this one. I think if anyone's interested in these games, then, you know, you can get them for dirt cheap on Steam. They're also available on Android and iOS devices. Even the director's cut of the first Broken Sword was released on the Wii. So, you know, they're definitely out there to be played. You know, they're not hard to find. You know, like I say, you can just download them off Steam. I'm definitely excited for this game. You know, I was so happy when the announcement was made, and that's supposed to come out before the summer, I think, because it actually had a Kickstarter program. This game is actually being made because of the power of Kickstarter. You know, it was funded through that, so I'm very happy for it. So the last game on this list is the new Tomb Raider, this reboot of the Tomb Raider franchise. It's still being done by Crystal Dynamics, who actually took over development duties of the Tomb Raider series at the beginning of this generation. Now, I've been a huge fan of Tomb Raider ever since it first came out on the PlayStation 1. I've played them all, I've beat them all, apart from Angel of Darkness on the PS2. I'm talking about the actual console games now, not like handheld spin-offs and anything like that. So, I've beat all the games apart from Angel of Darkness on PS2. I'm a huge fan of Lara Croft. This game at the moment is looking fantastic. My only issue with it, my only concern, is that they may be taking too much out of the Uncharted book and, you know, trying to copy and paste a lot of that into this new game. I hope that's not going to be the case. I hope they can bring a lot of originality to it, a lot more personality. You know, keep Tomb Raider's personality intact. Try and be original. Don't just try and copy and paste everything that Naughty Dog has brought, you know, to gaming now with Nathan Drake and Uncharted. They have to be original with this game, otherwise there's going to be a huge backlash at the end of the day, because everyone's just going to call it the Uncharted rip-off. Despite the fact that the Uncharted series took a lot of inspiration from the Tomb Raider series, so, you know, they're kind of going to go back and forth, but I'm definitely excited for this game. That comes out in March as well. Like I say, I'm a huge fan of Lara Croft. I just hope, you know, the story and the gameplay can all come together to create one epic game. But it remains to be seen. The verdict's definitely out on that one. So, yeah, that's it for my top 5 anticipated games. So, on this list, I'll just recap. We've got The Last of Us, Grand Theft Auto 5, BioShock Infinite, Broken Sword, The Serpent's Curse, and the reboot of Tomb Raider. So, like I say, it's by no means exhaustive, this list. There's a shit ton of other games that I'm looking forward to. Honourable mentions coming out in the first half of this year: Metal Gear Rising Revengeance, Dead Space 3, the new Sly Cooper game, all the Vita games that are going to be coming out this year, you know, games that haven't even been announced yet, but with possible release dates this year, I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to some Wii U announcements. I'm looking forward to see whether or not the new Xbox and the new PlayStation actually get announced like sometime this year. So there's a lot to look forward to in 2013, but out of the games that we know for definite are coming out this year, then those are my top 5. So thank you all for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. If you want to write down your top 5, then by all means drop me a comment in the comment section below. I'll definitely read them, definitely reply. And that's it from me. I'm your boy Scatino, and I'm out. Peace.